everyone. Welcome to another episode that will deal with the tense. The topic is divided into 3 episodes. In the last episode, we talked about the present tense, its various forms and uses. This episode will deal with the simple past, past continuous and past perfect tense, their forms and uses. Considering the importance of the tenses in English grammar, an attempt has been made to discuss them intensively. I am Sakshi Mandwal and our subject expert today is Sabah Tariq, guest lecturer for English at Jamia Hamdard University. In today's session, we will be going to cover the various forms and uses of simple past, past continuous and past perfect tense, their forms and uses. The grammatical structure of simple past, past continuous and past perfect tense. The direct relationship between grammatical structure and the real life uses of these tenses. It has already been discussed in the last episode that tense denotes the time of the happening of an action. Actions can take place now, before or later. On the basis of this, tenses are broadly of the 3 kinds. Number 1, present tense. Number 2, past tense. Number 3, future tense. In the last episode, we have conversed that present tense is used for indicating actions that happen or are happening at the time of speaking, though not in strict terms. We have also talked about the various forms and uses of the present tense. Now, let us proceed towards the past and future tense. The past tense expresses an action or an event that has already taken place or a state of being that existed before the time of speaking. It is used for indicating actions that happened or were happening before the time of speaking, though not in strict terms. For example, we reached home pretty late last night. I wrote a letter to a friend. Jessica celebrated her birthday with her family. Shreya danced well. We lit lamps on Diwali. The teacher distributed the storybooks. Mona was writing a letter to her brother. The girl was sleeping on the sofa. Soma was solving a jigsaw puzzle last evening. He was talking to his friend. The flight had landed when the announcement was made. Sagarika had left the house when I reached her place. The comparer had announced the arrival of the chief guest before the confusion started. The old man had put in an application for a new telephone connection before he went on a holiday. The girl had been flying kites since childhood. The mountaineer had been trying to climb the mountain since last year. All these sentences are examples of the past tense. The past tense is categorized into 4 kinds. Number 1, simple past tense or past indefinite tense. Number 2, past continuous or past progressive tense. Number 3, past perfect tense. Number 4, past perfect continuous or past perfect progressive tense. We use the simple past tense to indicate an action completed in the past. For example, I went to London. He completed his work in time. Here the verbs went and completed tell us that the actions of going to London and completing the work took place at some time in the past. Look at these sentences also. An accident took place in front of my house yesterday. A car knocked down a boy riding a bicycle. Luckily, the boy escaped with minor injuries. All the verbs in this paragraph are said to be in the simple past tense or past indefinite tense. Each of the verbs describes an event that took place and was completed in the past with reference to the time of speaking.
When we want to indicate that something happened at a specific time in the past, we use the past simple. We can either say when it happened or assume that the listener already knows when it happened or understand this from the context. For example, she spoke very well in the class. She arrived at the Indira Gandhi International Airport at 2 o'clock this morning. The Vice Chancellor left just a few minutes ago. Shaheen decided to continue the course even though it was proving difficult. We use past simple for situations that existed for a period of time in the past but not now. For example, when I was younger, I played hockey for my school team. The British ruled India for a long time. We use the past simple to talk about when a present situation began. For example, I started to get the pains 2 weeks back. I have had the pains for 3 weeks now.
A. The simple past tense expresses a habitual or regular action in the past. The verb is often accompanied by an adverbial like every day. For example, every day he read a few chapters of the Gita. His mother gave him some pocket money every day. She often went to the supermarket to buy some vegetables. When we want to suggest some past habit, we often use adverbial words like usually, generally, always, sometimes, frequently, never, often, with simple past tense. Sometimes it is used to refer to a past thought. For example, Kavya thought that elephants play with water in the sky when it rained. As a child, I thought that the world is very small. B. This tense expresses an action which occupied a period of time in the past, which is now ended. For example, he lived in Delhi for 15 years. He does not live there now. He served in this college for 20 years. He is no longer working here. Shakil studied mathematics for the last 15 years. C. Simple past tense is used to narrate a story. For example, once upon a time there was a girl called Cinderella. Once there lived a ferocious lion in the jungle. Once there lived a very brave man whose name was Ulysses. D. It is used to refer to historical events. Look at the given sentences now. Most of South Asia was under foreign rule in the 19th century. In 1861, Johann Philipp Reis spoke into his telephone the following words: "The horse does not eat cucumber salad." In 1872, a man called Graham Bell built an electromagnetic telephone in Boston. He discovered a device that could transmit speech over a long distance. On 10th March 1876, Bell presented his box telephone to the public on a test line of around 8 kilometers. E. It is used to express actions that took place sometime in the past and are over now. These actions might have occurred at some moment or might have taken a period of time, but they do not have any connections with the present time. For example, I posted 3 letters yesterday. Some moment? We stayed at Kathmandu for 2 weeks. Period of time. My father left for Delhi yesterday. I bought this watch in Mumbai. A strong wind blew last night and knocked down a number of trees in our garden. The old man walked slowly. They put up a fence around their garden. The police caught the thief at the railway station. In these sentences, the simple past tense is used to express events that occurred at a particular point in the past. When used in this way, there is usually a word or phrase, or in the case of transitive verbs, an object. However, in a narrative sequence, an adverbial of time may not be necessary. For example, the car knocked down a cyclist. Luckily, he escaped with minor injuries. He came home tired and shaken. He told his mother about the accident. She made some tea for him. He drank the tea and felt refreshed. He then went and lay down in bed. The adverbial similarly is not needed when a sentence in simple past is spoken in answer to a question. Who broke the glass? Anil did. How did he go to the school? He walked. F. In subordinate clauses, this tense is used to refer to something desirable or unreal state of thing. Look at the given sentences. It is high time someone told him the truth. I wish I knew his address. Something desirable. If I were you, I would never speak to him again. An unreal state of thing. G. Had can be used as main verb in the simple past tense. Look at the given sentences now. I had a raincoat with me, but the raincoat did not have a cap. They had a well-established business. We had a lot of fun in the picnic last Saturday. Used to. Used to form is used to show past habit. Look at these examples. He used to live here. Positive sentence. He never used to live here. Negative sentence. He used not to live here. Negative sentence. Did he used to live here? Interrogative sentence. Did he not used to live here? Interrogative negative sentence. Used to suggest that something was true or happened for some period of time in the past but has stopped being true or happening at the time of speaking. Look at the given sentence now. Mr. Rai used to smoke. He does not smoke now. This sentence means that Mr. Rai was in the habit of smoking for some time in the past, but at the present time, he has stopped smoking. Note, used to is always in this form. It can never be used to when used in an affirmative sentence. Affirmative, yes statement. Subject plus second form of verb plus object. I invited all my friends to tea. Negative, no statement. Subject plus didn't plus first form of verb plus object. I didn't invite all my friends to tea. Interrogative, yes or no question. Did plus subject plus first form of verb plus object plus question mark. Did I invite all my friends to tea? Interrogative, WH question. WH word plus did plus subject plus first verb plus object plus question mark. Whom did I invite to tea? Interrogative, negative. Negative question. Didn't plus subject plus first form of verb plus object plus question mark. Didn't I invite all my friends to tea? Interrogative, negative. Negative question. Did plus subject plus not plus first form of verb plus object plus question mark. Did I not invite all my friends to tea? Double interrogative, negative. Negative question. WH word plus didn't plus subject plus not plus first verb plus object plus question mark. Why didn't I invite all my friends to tea? The past continuous or past progressive tense is used to indicate an action that started in the past and was going on for some time in the past. In other words, the past continuous tense indicates an ongoing action in the past. Look at these sentences. Once a hunter was walking through a forest. I was ironing my shirt when the electricity failed. The boys were playing in the garden when it started to rain. In each of these sentences, the verb is in the past progressive or past continuous tense. The form of the verb is was or were plus verb plus ing. Another point to remember is while the present continuous tense expresses an action in progress in present, the past continuous tense expresses an action in progress in the past.
To talk about a temporary situation that existed at or around a particular time in the past, we use the past continuous. My head was aching again, so I went home. When we talk about two past actions or events that went on over the same period of time, we use past continuous for both. For example, Radha was reading to the children while Ramesh was washing up.
A. The past progressive tense expresses an action that was in progress at a point of time in the past, but having begun that point and probably continuing after it. For example, at 7 a.m. this morning I was reading the newspaper. At 8:30 I was having my breakfast. At 9 a.m. I was getting ready for my office and the children were getting ready for school. B. The past progressive tense expresses an action continuing over a period of time in the past. For example, the boys were listening to the cricket commentary the whole of yesterday. He was watching TV throughout the afternoon. The train was running late regularly during the last 1 week. We were listening to the music all evening. Time phrase given. It was getting darker. Time phrase not given. C. The past progressive tense expresses an action continuing at some point in the past when another event took place. For example, when the phone rang, he was watching television. Or, the phone rang while he was watching television. The lights went out while I was reading. When I saw him, he was playing chess. Or, he was playing chess when I saw him. I was cooking when you arrived. In all these sentences, the simple past tense and past continuous tense are used together to suggest that something happened when another action was in progress. Happening. Note, while or when can be used to join such sentences. The train was passing on the bridge when the bridge gave way. I was reading the newspaper when the telegraph peon knocked at the door. D. The past progressive tense describes two or more actions going on at the same time in the past. Often the conjunction while is used to connect the clauses. For example, while some boys were reading in the library, others were playing in the playground. While Rome was burning, Nero was fiddling. Sita was playing the sitar, Radha was singing, and Mohan was playing the table. She was humming a tune as she was cooking dinner. Meenu was looking after the cats at home while Shobha was taking care of the dog in the garden. In these sentences, the present continuous tense is used to describe simultaneous actions. E. The tense is also used with always, continuously, continually, constantly, etc. For example, she was always scolding her children. He was continually asking for money. The children were constantly asking for sweets. The sage was forever praying for the welfare of the humanity. He was always grumbling. She was always ringing me up. In this type of sentence, the adverbials always come after the helping verbs, was or were. F. This tense is used to suggest a gradual development in any action. Time expressions are not used in such cases. Look at the sentences. He was becoming more and more depressed. She was getting more and more skinny. They were trying to make her happy. G. The simple past tense indicates a deliberate and planned action, whereas the past continuous tense indicates a more casual and less deliberate action. For example, I talked to the Deputy Commissioner yesterday. Deliberate. I was talking to the Deputy Commissioner yesterday. Casual. The second sentence suggests that the speaker had not intentionally planned to talk to the Deputy Commissioner. H. In many cases, the past continuous tense sounds more polite than the simple past tense. Look at the sentences. What were you doing before you joined the university? More polite. What did you do before you joined this university? Less polite. The first sentence sounds more polite than the second sentence. Perception verbs are usually not used in the present continuous tense except in the following cases. 1. Was hoping. I was hoping to meet you today. 2. Was wondering. She was wondering whether you will also come to Hima's house. 3. Was thinking. He was thinking of writing to you. In these sentences also, the ing forms of perception verbs are used to enhance politeness. Affirmative. Yes statement. Subject plus was or were plus fourth verb plus object. We were getting ready to start a match. Negative. No statement. Subject plus was or were plus not plus fourth verb plus object. We were not getting ready to start a match. interrogative, yes or no question, was or were plus subject plus fourth verb plus object plus question mark. Were we getting ready to start a match? Interrogative, WH question, WH word plus was or were plus subject plus fourth verb plus object plus question mark. What were we getting ready for? Interrogative negative, negative question, wasn't or weren't plus subject plus fourth verb plus object plus question mark. Weren't we getting ready to start a match? Interrogative negative, negative question, was or were plus subject plus not plus fourth verb plus object plus question mark. Were we not getting ready to start a match? Double interrogative negative, negative question, WH word plus wasn't or weren't plus subject plus not plus fourth verb plus object plus question mark. Why weren't we getting ready to start our match? We use the past perfect tense to arrange past actions according to their sequence of occurrence. With the help of this tense, we can distinguish between action that have taken place in the past and the time before past. Look at these sentences. On reaching the school, I found that I had forgotten to bring my English textbook. When we reached the theatre, the play had begun already. I had to borrow some money from a friend of mine since I had lost my purse. Radha remembered that she had already deposited the money in the bank. The verb in italics in each of these sentences is in the past perfect tense. The form of this tense is had plus past participle. In each of these sentences, there are two actions or events, both taking place in the past, but one taking place earlier than the other. The two are in some way related to each other. That is, the earlier action or event has some link with the later action. The earlier action or event in such cases is expressed in the past perfect tense and the later action in the simple past. For instance, in the first sentence, I had forgotten is the earlier action. On reaching the school, I found is the later action. This tense is used when we wish to emphasize the sequence of the two actions in the past and when that earlier action has some relation to the later action or situation. For example, Radha remembered that she had already deposited the money in the bank. Notice that the action of remembering past happens after depositing the amount before the set time in the past. The use of past perfect shows a distance between the present moment of reporting and the time when the action took place. It is often possible to bring out the earlierness of either action without the use of the past perfect tense, but with the help of conjunctions like before or after. Look at the sentences. The train had left before I reached the station. I reached the station after the train left. I had completed my work before you came to meet me. You came to meet me after I completed my work. But these sentences are mere factual statements. They only express the time sequence of the two actions described and do not necessarily carry any other significance.
We use past perfect to talk about a past situation or activity that took place before a particular time in the past. For example, on reaching the school, I found that I had forgotten to bring my English textbook. When we reached the theatre, the play had begun already. I had to borrow some money from a friend of mine since I had lost my wallet. We use the past perfect when we say what we wanted or hoped to do but didn't. I had wanted to become an actor before I joined academics.
A. It describes an action completed before a certain moment in the past. Look at the given sentences. He had invited us for dinner last week. I had last met him 5 years back. I had seen him before 2 days near the museum. We had gone to visit him in September. Rita had talked to him on the phone last week. B. If two actions happened in the past, it may be necessary to show which action happened earlier than the other. The past perfect and simple past combination is mainly used in such situations. The simple past is used in one clause to show the action that happened later, and the past perfect in the other to show the action that happened earlier. Look at the sentences. When the ambulance reached the accident spot, the injured had been taken to the nearby clinic. Father had retired to bed when Hari came to see him. The train had left when I reached the station. By the time he got the telegram, his father had died. By the time the police arrived on the scene, the writers had fled. The past perfect here expresses an action in the past which was completed before another action also in the past. The tense expresses the past of the past or the before past. C. In general, the past perfect tense is used when from a point of time in the past we look backward at an event that happened earlier in the past. That point of time may be expressed, number 1, merely as a time phrase, for example, at 8 am, by evening by the year 2009, at 18 years of age, etc. Or number 2, by a clause that refers to an action that took place at a point of time in the past. For example, when he wrote to me, by the time we called in the firemen, etc. At 9 pm, the plane had left. By 3 in the afternoon, 6,000 voters had cast their votes. At 18 years of age, he had already travelled a lot. When he wrote to me about his success in the IAS examination, I had already known the results from the newspaper. D. The past perfect tense is used to express actions or events in the past which denote causes or reasons for later actions also in the past. For example, I did not know the man because I had not seen him before. The doctor found the patient restless because he had not had any sleep the night before. I did not support him because he had behaved with me very badly. He did not go to the party because he had got very tired.
Past perfect continuous. We use the past perfect continuous when we talk about a situation or activity that happened over a period up to a particular past time. For example, the telephone had been ringing for 5 minutes, but there was no one to attend to it. I met Siddhidatri at the metro station. She had been waiting for the train for 15 minutes, she said. When we talk about how long something went on up to a particular past time, we prefer the past perfect continuous. For example, they had been traveling for about 36 hours.
Thus, in this episode, we have talked about the extensive uses of the past indefinite, past progressive, and past perfect tense. After this episode, the student should understand that simple past tense is used to indicate an action completed in the past, to talk about habitual and regular actions in the past, to express actions that took place sometime in the past and are over now, and to refer to something desirable or unreal state of thing. The past continuous tense is used to express an action that was in progress at a point of time in the past, having begun before that time and probably continuing after it. It also expresses an action continuing over a period of time in the past, to talk about an action continuing at some point in the past when another action took place, and for two or more actions going on at the same time in the past. And past perfect is used to describe an action completed before a certain moment in the past, to talk about two actions and to show which happened earlier than the other, and to express actions or events in the past which denote causes or reasons for later actions also in the past. These uses must be understood by the learners properly so that they are able to use proper tense in a particular situation. In the next episode, we will talk about some more uses of past perfect tense. Apart from it, we will also discuss about the past perfect continuous tense and the future tense with their different forms and uses. Till the next time, it's a goodbye from me.